Talk to us about how capitalism and patriarchy quietly broke the village that used to raise children.
When I was doing research for the book, it was really important to me that I help people understand how we got here. So if I'm looking at the kind of European trajectory, because that is what a lot of the United States was based on, it was actually crafted specifically and strategically the way that we are right now as, again, a means to control. So whether we're talking about controlling women, whether we're talking about controlling populations and societies, whether we're talking about being able to have access to and control the amount of workers for, the Industrial Revolution, obviously in the 1800s. So we have to really question the specifics of the way that we're living right now. Because again, it's not actually how our society was meant to live. Right? So I go all the way back to what they call in Europe, the enclosures. And so the enclosures are, at some point, right, we were agricultural. We settled, we started doing agriculture.
Right.
And what we started to see happen was the lords, the people who owned the land, first of all, they started owning land. That was new. They started then renting you pieces of land, right, to then work on, feed your family, right? And so part of that was there was these communal spaces. So we as families had these spaces that we farmed and owned and took care of our families with. And then we had these communal spaces where we would come together. What happened is those spaces started becoming smaller and smaller and smaller and closing, right? And they took away those communal spaces and they started saying, oh, well, every inch of land is monetizable. So they started taking away the land and making it smaller and smaller. And we actually see the correlation of that with the implementation of capitalism.
I was just going to say, so is capitalism to blame for the degradation of the family unit and family unit potential?
In many ways. And I have a section in the book that I call Bringing Women Inside. And you can actually see how in tandem with the land grab happening, you can actually see the strategic taking of women from external outside the home and actually bringing them into the home. And
to take away from the community.
To take away from the community aspect. That's right. No. All of a sudden now, obviously time is money, right? And so we see how things within the home now don't make money anymore, but things outside of the home do. And so we start obviously saying some people are worth more than others, that being men, because now we let men do this work, we make women do this work. We actually bring women inside, we isolate them from their communities. We start marrying them into these isolated family units as a way to also control women, but also control birth.